Salam behind me, the US Army, they're actually leaving. They're packing up and they're leaving as fast as they can. As you can see right here, this US Army, all of them have left. In fact, UK military, they also have left. And that packing up, that leaving was very abrupt. Nobody even knew it was coming. So they were gone, in the darkness of the night. Right now, Kabul, the capital, is scrambling because the Taliban, they are actually seizing border areas like Turkmenistan, Iran, border crossings. One thing we find very interesting is that the Khorasan that was mentioned in the Hadith, and the area that was mentioned, that it was referring to, are the places where this group Taliban is having complete control. Okay, so what we have found out after seizing, as you can see on the screen, after seizing Kala on Iran frontier, the Taliban insurgents, they have captured a crucial Torgandi border, port on Afghanistan and Turkmenistan border. As government says, effort to recapture the crossings are ongoing. Subhanallah, this is happening so fast. A lot of these Afghan security officials, personnel, they are actually fleeing. They're not putting up any fight. They're just saying that, you know what, we are done. We have to leave, and they are leaving. They are saying that we are not willing to fight. As you can see, this video, there is this armored vehicle. And this has all been captured by them, and this did not take too long. So the question is, dear brothers and sisters, should we who study the hadith, who are waiting for the end of time, who talk about the end of time, should we be happy? Should we be saying that, yeah, this is a good news? Or should we say, no, this is not a good news, this is bad news? What would be our position? Is this something I think will benefit Islam and the Muslims? There are pros and cons. I'm going to be mentioning a few things to you, but the question will always remain. At the end of the day, people will always have this question and will always have this doubt, suspicion, and uncertainty as to what will unfold in the coming days. We know, dear brothers and sisters, when we talk about the coming of the Mahdi, Dajjal, Antichrist, Yajuj and Majuj, we cannot ignore or we cannot overlook this region called Khorasan. I will be taking your questions. If you have any, inshallah, you can always ask me question in this live stream I'm doing right now. But the reason, assalamu, great to see you. Fair Syed, wa alaikum salam, great to see you too. So the reason I wanted to talk is because of what is happening now. Taliban, they have 75,000 soldier or troop or fighter, 75,000. Compared to the Afghan security forces, they are 375,000. 75,000. What America is saying that, look, Taliban cannot take over Afghanistan because the Afghan security force, they are huge in number. They have equipment, they have weapon, they have everything they need. They have good funding. We're helping them. So when the journalist asked Joe Biden, what do you think about this? He said that they will not take over. In fact, what we know, dear brothers and sisters, is that the Afghan country, the country Afghanistan, it was never ruled by one unified government ever. It always failed. He's saying that look at the history. Joe Biden was saying, look at the history. They never ruled unified, so they were never unified. So this time it will not happen. Muhammad Abdul Salam Akhi, wa alaikum salam, how are you? Alhamdulillah. So the point here is that this thing is very, very uncertain. It is very hard to understand what is going on or what will happen in the future. So the question is, again, is it a good thing for the Muslim world or is it a bad thing? So I'm going to be mentioning a few things here, very, very important. Number one is that, dear brothers and sisters, this will definitely help Pakistan to fight against India. Whatever is happening between India and Pakistan, especially with the Kashmiri issue, Pakistan will have now a added voice, which is going to be Afghanistan. And the Taliban, they will support Pakistan against India. There is no doubt about that. So in that sense, you can say, yeah, Pakistani will help them, and that it is a good thing that Kashmiri brothers and sisters, now they will have a group or a country. If Taliban eventually, if they do take over the whole country, they will say, we'll have a voice now. We have a government who is supporting us, and they're very, very effective, because remember, regardless what happens, everyone is scared of them. Okay, everybody, India, you said, you name it, India, Pakistan, they are scared of Taliban. They do not want to deal with these people because they are completely fearless, they're ruthless. And they were tried and tested by superpowers throughout century, from 1800th century, Anglo-Afghan war that took place in the 18th century, 1839, I believe. Superpowers went there, Soviet Union, Russia, US, British, everybody went there. But they could never contain them. They could never defeat them. Everyone, in other words, going to be very, very afraid of what will happen in the future, especially for India. They do not know. They are already dealing with Kashmiri, groups who they cannot contain either. This Kashmiri, group who are fighting for their freedom, India is finding it very hard. In fact, they lost, I think, 2 soldiers. India lost 2 soldiers yesterday or something like that. I think yesterday. Ayman Aslan, are they Khorasan force? Inshallah, I will answer you in a second. I actually answered that in my other video, but I'll touch base on that again, inshallah. In other words, Pakistan will benefit from it. This is why Pakistan is helping. Iran is helping the Taliban. China will help probably, but it will depend. China will try to strike a deal with Taliban because China is already having problem with the Uyghur. China would not like to have Taliban, just across the border, who can launch attack anytime on Chinese interest. So China would either try to, because China knows if they go into Afghanistan, they cannot defeat them, because history tells a very, very different story. Any nation, any superpower will go there. So China will probably not do that. Instead, China will offer them prosperity, jobs, money, infrastructure build up. They will offer Afghanistan, the Taliban, a lot of things, so that they will give up fighting China. Because if they don't, then the Uyghur issue and the Muslims in Uyghur, they will take up arms. If whatever they have right now, I do not know the situation there in Uyghur, but one of the reasons why China did what they did with the Uyghur is because of this potential threat that they felt that might come from this Uyghur. So China will help. So is this a good thing, whatever they're doing? The bad thing about that, dear my sisters, is one hadith that I was reading about Dajjal. The whole region right now is very unstable. It is going to be more unstable in the coming days. The hadith talks about Dajjal, his appearance, his emergence. And Rasulullah said, يَخْرُجُ دَجَّالْ min ardi bil mashriq yuqalu lahu Khurasan. The Prophet, he said that Dajjal will appear from the east, a place called Khurasan, and people with faces like hammer shield will follow him. Yatba'u Dajjala, they will follow Dajjal with faces like hammer shield. When you take a look at this hadith, it throws a lot of doubts in our mind and heart as to whether we should believe in the Taliban, or we should be a little bit suspicious about them, or why these things are happening. it does throw a lot of doubts and suspicion in our hearts and mind, this hadith, because Dajjal will appear from that land, from Khorasan. So is this something that is being planned, by Dajjal and his agent to destabilize the whole region, so that the Yahudi will have a reason to maybe plant their flag there, build some surveillance system, or make some fortresses, or build a military base there to observe what is happening, so that when Dajjal will be here, they will be close to him. I do not know, Allahu Alam, but that is a possibility. How the Yahudi will act and what the Yahudi will do will be something very, very interesting. Dajjal will appear from that place, and Yahudi, I'm pretty sure they know about it. If this whole region is destabilized, then it will probably benefit Dajjal. It will probably benefit the Yahudi, because then they will find an excuse to kind of like get involved and make their presence justified by telling that, hey, look, this whole region is not stable, we need to be here. When in reality, what they will be doing is to help Dajjal, and he's coming. Allahu Alam, this is something I do not know, but just after reading the hadith, this is what I think might happen. I have few more comments here. So the Khorasan, no brother, Ayman, Aslan, Khorasan force, they are not exclusively the Khorasan force. That's what I mentioned in my other video. That the hadith talks about that Khorasan army will come with black banner. I said they are not exclusively. They might be part of it, but they are not exclusively. Akhi, do you really believe the Taliban will overthrow Afghan government and be successful? Wallahi, this is something we will have to wait and see. Right now, the way things are going, possible. China, Pakistan uniting is fearing. Yes, they are. As Syed Mahmud and listeners, Nisar Mumin, Abdullah, Isa, Assalamu alaikum, brother. Adam, Muhammad, Isa, and the Taliban going to return the Khilafah? No, the Taliban, they don't really care about Khilafah as much. They are more worried about their ruling of the country. They don't even talk about international politics when they're in power. They just care about what they are getting, what is their achievement. They don't care about what is happening with the Muslims, for example, in Palestine or places like that. This is what my observation. I mean, they are not very heavily involved. Every time something happened in the Muslim world, we have seen Taliban the last 20 years, they don't say anything, which is very interesting. Aren't the Taliban going to, okay, Ayman, a master of Islamic said in my area that Imam Mahdi will arrive. These are all predictions. We do not know. Is the flat peace view maybe from China? Possible. It can be also people from Tajikistan, Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan. Those people, they have flat hammer shield, flat faces. So China also, yeah, China can be a possibility too. The Chinese will, they do match that description. But Allahu Alam, do you think West has misrepresented Taliban purposely? Yes, they probably regret it now, because wallahi they made bad relation with Taliban and it didn't work. If they had been on good terms with them, probably it would have served them better, because they spent like trillions, $2.261 trillion. This is total waste of money. So that is a possible. Johanna Welbeck, Taliban terrorists. What they do next will be something that will define who they are really, whether they are a group of terrorism or not. We will find out what they will do after they come to power. Right now, what all they're doing is trying to get the country back from the foreign forces. That's all we know right now. In the future, what they will do will define who they are. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.